Brady, we are not at home.
Yeah, this is different.
This is
Riverside has been good.
Riverside's been good, but
You don't have to switch among the.
but welcome to, I guess, Wilson Studios. I
Yeah.
guess you call it.
I mean, it's the Higher Up Podcast Studios.
Yes. So in person, it's a little weird. I think we were talking about it. I'm like, now I feel like you can reach out and during the show, you can touch me during the show. When you need to make a very serious point. So, but we're back for season 4, episode 40. Okay, so we're back.
Milestone.
So we've hit episode 40. Holidays good before we jump in?
Yeah.
Everybody good holidays?
Everybody we had a good time. Got to travel a little bit and got to go explore the country, the world.
That's right.
Our family had a great time. We had a great time.
Yeah, church was closed for about a week and a half. It was nice just to take a break. I feel like I spent most of it here. So
Getting this set up.
getting this set up. So
You've done a great job.
it looks
Nice.
good.
We're still not 100% finished. We
Yeah,
got a few more
still
things to do,
working on it. But it's nice to be in person. Feels more conversational. Like you said, Riverside was great, but I'm excited to do this. Excited to be able to have a place for guests to come in.
Yeah.
And just, it feels more conversational to kind of sit down. So, but we got a lot. We're glad we're back for our first episode of the season.
Yeah.
Diving in a little bit. Just before we start, please tell me we're not calling this New Year, New You. Like,
No. Did we do that last year? Did we do that?
no, it's just I feel like that's the cliche. That's the first thing people say is
New Year, New You.
You. I'm like, well,
No.
Hey, the good thing is we can use AI or whatever we want to call it, whatever we want to call it.
what's funny is technically it is the new year, but you're still the same person. You're just hoping to develop new
How
habits.
about New Year, New Studio?
New Year's to studio?
Yeah.
So,
No, let's don't call it that.
we'll call it. We'll figure out something. But we
It
are.
can be transformed though, Adam.
Yes.
No,
you
just
can.
just a couple things too, just so the listeners know. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, you're actually seeing this right now.
Yeah.
But if you're listening out there, man, the milestones that we've been able to achieve with Higher Up Podcast has actually been mind blowing to me. We've surpassed 11,000 downloads. And we're seeing trends of it moving up and up. So look, continue to share, continue to, get the word out there. This is designed to help business leaders, managers, companies, and choose how they can live a higher up life with the Lord on their side to take their company to the next level. I mean, Brady, we had some challenges in 2025 with our company. We won't get in that today, but I thought it'd be kind of neat that we would talk about this. Obviously, Martin Luther King Day in January, great leader he was to the world, not just Alabama or to the country, but to the world. I guess the question would be this: what kind of leader do we want to be this year in 2026? Our theme, and I thought, Brady, it'd be good for you just to take a minute. Our theme this year at our company is accelerate through simplification.
Yeah.
And we want to kind of break that down a second. Tell people, what does that mean to our team?
Yeah. So we've talked about strategic planning a lot, on the podcast, and so we met with our team. Typically, we try to do it like in November, so that we've got December to kind of unpack it and get ready. For this year, we were not able to do that for whatever reason. I think just schedules didn't line up. So we did it, I think, second week of December. But it was a good time with our team. And really just thinking through 2025 and how do we move out of, because we did have some challenges, but we had some pretty major milestones that we hit as well, and the Lord provided in such an amazing way, and gave us kind of a foothold into what 2026 was going to look like. But we thought that with all the things that we have available at our fingertips, and we don't operate in an easy industry.
Yeah.
I mean, when you deal with insurance companies and all the regulations and all the service level agreements and all, just a lot of different things, it's not easy to remember those things. So we do want to do better than we did last year. And so we knew that acceleration was going to be a part of what we wanted to do. But what we've got to do is figure out a way, and we won't talk about this, in detail because we're not ready to yet.
Yeah.
But is we got to figure out how to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
And so really for us, and Benji, you remember when we talked to the team, typically like when you think accelerate, right? You're in a vehicle and you just like pedal to the metal, let's go. For us, that's not the picture. So I actually showed a picture on the screen, and what it is removing the roadblocks. Like what's in the way? how do we get that out of the way? And what that helps us do is propel forward faster.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we have to go faster or hit the acceleration faster, but we'll be able to move faster because things are out of the way. The nuisances, the problems, the challenges. Not that they'll all be gone, but that's that we're focusing on for 2026 is how do we accelerate by making it more simple.
Yeah, and that, I mean, honestly, you know that from working with us for a while. We try to make things as simple as we possibly can because in our world, documentation is the key to everything that we do. But at the same time, we got to figure out how to make it easier for our people.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things to remember, and I'm sure those of you that may be listening out there right now, you know, you may be facing the same battle that what can I do in my role as a leader, as a manager, you know. And this was a good little quote that we came up with, but you don't have to have a new job title. Maybe you're trying to work your way up the chain. You don't have to have a new job title to lead in a new way.
Yeah.
A leader can lead, right? What about you? I mean, I know you've had a lot going on at the church and all. What are some things you guys may be working on that someone may could take away from as a leader?
So our theme for the year right now we're dealing with is dream again. From Psalms 125, and so we're talking through it's time to dream again. Pastor Jeremy's been talking a lot about, obviously, when you think of dreaming from the Bible, obviously Joseph's first thing that comes up. You think about the dreams that God gave him and what he shared with his brothers and what he shared with everything. So we're kind of in that position, but we're also in a position at the church where we're having to do some of those things now too. Like, how do we accelerate different areas? Like, how do we multiply ourselves? How do we look at some of these things? Yesterday we had in our staff meeting, he asked us 3 things that we went through. What's a personal dream? What's a dream for your department? And what's a corporate dream? And so we looked at some of those things, and then what we did is took each one of those and we had to guess whose it was. So, you know, and everybody's like, wait, hold on, why am I sharing my personal dream? But we had to guess it. But then on the board we put 3 different things. We put surprised, we put excited, and then we put like planned. Like, hey, this sounds normal for this person. So, like, you know, one of the first things I put down was I want to make sure this year that for personal was our business helps support our family. I mean, it's been no shock to anyone. We've had tons of issues with our house and our vehicle, and
yeah, you can go back and listen to episode 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. We'll probably have something to add them.
Just for listeners, whatever you do, don't call Benji about buying vehicles because he'll just tell you to pull the trigger. So
You should have called me.
That's why I was like,
just buy a new one. Buy a new one and finance it for 10 years.
But, you know, that's what we do.
Bad idea.
The business was good too this year. It was a lot. That was one of the things Emily and I sat and talked about and that's something I think is a good chance for any business owner, whether it's the size you guys are or like me, like where I'm at, where I'm a single man operation. But, you know, one of the things we looked at is we did a lot of business last year. I mean, we did it from down at the bottom of Florida all the way up to St. Louis, Missouri. I mean, we had a lot of good opportunity. We're blessed. But the other thing I think I'd look at that too is when you do that, it's not just taxing on me, it's taxing on the family. When we're gone. Yeah. I also have a full-time job. So then when I am gone for these, I've got to come back and do other things. But we looked at that, and then, you know, departmental, you know, we talked about how to grow and having more people that can do things. And then for the church, I was like, I want a studio. Like, I want a studio space. So we're dreaming.
Hey, we can rent you space.
I know you can. So I would like to build something that we could rent too to other people. So, but
give you a good deal.
But yeah, so that's something we're looking at. I mean, that's our big theme this year. And what we need to do is, and we haven't yet, we need to look at like what's our family theme. Like what are we? That's something Emily and I've talked about. Like, what are we doing this year? Are we going to try to take a trip? Are we going to try to do anything with the girls? Are we going to invest in something so we're not just, you know, putting money in the bank? Like, what are we going to do? So we've got a lot of things that we got to look at. But I think this is a perfect time. I think January is a perfect time to look at it and kind of set those goals for the year so you know we went. We achieved our goals from last year for the business, for ourselves. So now we got to set that and kind of continue forward.
I think that's a really good point, Adam. And we've talked about this a little bit, but just as a reminder, you know, to our listeners, but, you know, Melissa and I did the same thing over the after Christmas because our anniversary is on the 27th of December, so 2 days after Christmas. But we sat down probably collectively over a week, maybe like 6 to 8 hours, and I found this resource that we talked about when I say everything, I mean everything but from family to business to goals to targets and, just a bunch of stuff of what we want to try to, achieve for the year and really just a reset, if you will. But you and your wife getting on the same page, it's kind of like doing that with your leadership team. I mean, you are the leadership team of your family.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Benji, just to touch on, you asked about leadership. I think it's a good reminder too, just something that John Maxwell says, he says leadership is influence.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at wanting to be a better leader in 2026, then just, take some time, pause. Don't do it if you're driving. We don't want you to close your eyes or anything, but think about the level of influence that you have with people. That could be people at work. It could be people at church. It could be your family. But you have influence in other people's lives. And just remember another thing that he says is you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so it's just a good reminder of, and I was thinking the other day, like, okay, I did a lot of reading in 25, probably not as much as I did in 24, but still learned a lot. But what am I going to do this year? And I've got a book list that's a mile long. It's going to be hard to kind of decipher which ones I want to read. But you can only give what you have or what you've learned or what you've studied about and the knowledge that you've gotten.
Yep.
And that goes from a spiritual perspective
Yep.
too. This will be the fourth year that me and my wife have done the Bible recap, and we will do it, reading the whole Bible in a year, but we'll probably do it forever. It's just one of those things that getting into a rhythm.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you were talking about dreaming. Again, we would be remiss if we didn't take the month of January to talk about Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, I have a dream today. Everyone knows that slogan. But I'm sure like you guys, you look up and you go, how in the world am I going to get, obviously we've talked about this, and I know there's a lot of leadership books that say, professional goals drive personal goals drive professional goals. It works both ways.
Yeah.
And how in the world are you going to get from January to December of the same year? You mentioned in one of our team meetings the other day, you were like, we only got 49 weeks left this year.
Right.
3 weeks are gone already.
Yep.
So how are you going to get from January to December? And you put these milestones out there. It's a daily grind. It's getting everyone on the same page. But Dr. Martin Luther King, just to honor him for a minute, he had so much vision. He cast it, he sacrificed, and he serviced it. His dream wasn't just something that was poetic, it was very strategic. He was like, I have a dream today, and he taught us that vision is only powerful if it moves people forward. And we have a thing in our company, we use people first. How do we help? If we're going to get where we want to go, it takes people to come alongside that journey with you to help them achieve their goals. It helps you achieve your goals, and together everyone achieves more. This is a question for us. What does courageous leadership look like for us this year? Because I'll tell you, this last year, it took a lot of faith in what we were going through as a company in a good way. How do you have courage to go, I've got to get to that next thing. I can tell you this. We've said this many times. We are not going to have another 2025 like we have at the beginning of the year.
Right.
And to your point, the Lord blessed tremendously the last 9 months of the year. So from a courageous leadership standpoint, is there anything that a person needs to change? Maybe a listener out there could gain some insight from. Maybe they don't. What does it take to be a courageous leader?
I'll give one example. I think this could apply to probably almost anybody, whether you're a leader or not. But think about a decision that you've been wrestling with for a long time. It's the right thing. It's going to be hard to pull the trigger, or there's people involved, but maybe you've been thinking about something for a long time. It's a new year. It's a new season. Just do it.
Have the courage to do it.
Have the courage and the boldness to do it. Thinking about Joseph and dreaming. Joseph was a pretty courageous person. Like he did not have any angst about telling his brothers what he saw.
Yeah.
And so,
And sometimes it makes people mad. Sometimes it makes people upset, like your brothers.
it does. But what I would say in that is, if you've been wrestling with the decision, you know it's the right thing. I mean, obviously, pray about it. Listen to the Holy Spirit. Let Him guide you. But if you know that in your spirit you feel like the Lord's has shown you that you need to do it, then now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Just pull the trigger. Make it happen.
Take the leap of faith.
Yeah. I think courageous leadership, I know for me this year, it's got to look like trust. Trusting team.
Yeah.
We're training teams. We're training people. Nobody is going to have the amount of experience that I have. And we've always said it. Nobody's ever going to do it better than I do. Or you feel that way. Like I always am in a position where I'm like, nobody's going to do it better than me. Like I need to do it, but I need to trust others to do the job that gets done, because the more that I'm doing the little things, I can't focus on the big things. And so that's something for us as a creative team we talked about this year, is some of these part-timers that work with us, we've got to be able to trust them to handle things more and hand off the things. Look, I love the color. I love it. I love being able to do it. I love having these things. But at some point, like with what we're doing on Sundays and the growth we're having, I can't always be taking photos.
Yeah.
I can't always be on capturing video. I'm going to have to multiply and trust that they're going to get what needs to be done. It's the same way in business too. I think you've got to be able to trust that people can do it. This year, we're going to hopefully have more people that partner alongside us with some of these jobs that we have, these larger jobs. And I got to trust to know that even if I'm not standing there, they're going to capture it. Yeah. They're going to grab it and they're going to do it the right way. So
I think that's being a courageous leader, to your point, because sometimes it takes courage to trust
just
other people.
Letting it go.
That's a great starting point for someone.
Because, you think, same thing that I think the two of y'all do with the business. Your dad built it, then you guys took it to a totally new level. And so you're trying to figure out, well, man, like, I feel like you were there from the beginning of it, and you're like, well, it's tough to let some of that go or give things up. Like, are people going to do it at the level I did?
Yeah.
And, and it's something I've learned a lot too, that's something that we've talked about. Nobody's going to care about the business more than the two of you. It doesn't matter who works for you, how long they worked for you, how invested they are in being a Wilson. Nobody's going to care about the business more than the two of you. I feel the same way with what we're doing, what Emily and I do with our media, our creative company. Like, nobody's going to care to get that photo or that shot more than I am, but I've got to trust that others are going to do to the best of their ability that they can. And so I've got to put that trust into them and believe that they're going to do it.
Yeah. So just a couple updates. Again, we've kind of talked through leadership, dreaming. Obviously, we had a dream that we wanted to all be in the same room one day.
It's here. It's happening.
A fresh space creates this fresh energy. We are gonna have. We've talked to you guys before that on a couple of previous episodes. We're gonna have some guests on this year. That's one of our goals.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, we want to have some key guests on. And we're going to be talking about how in their business they're utilizing the leadership skills, but at the same time, how they're entrusting the Lord to help them in their company. And again, with the fresh space, we have to have leadership to continue to push it forward. So just a couple of quick things for you guys. Don't just make goals for the year. Make an impact on those goals, because you as a leader, as a manager, have the control to do that. Again, you got to have the courage to step out and do it with the dream that you have. But don't just make it a goal. Everybody can make New Year's resolutions. What do they say? After 21 days, something becomes a habit. Yep. Some people would say 7 seconds you can make a first impression. Yep. A lot of times people drop their goals off. What's the number one thing people do every year?
New Year's
resolutions, So then they look up and they're past the month of January going into February, and where'd my January go?
We always joke, the gym right now, goodness gracious, in the morning it's packed. But I'm like, we always joke, like, just make it to February.
Yeah.
Just get to February, and it'll go. You hate that. You don't want people not to have a healthy life, but there's the selfish side of you that's like, just make it to February, and things will get back to normal. Yeah.
Actually, I'm to your
until
point.
Spring break.
I am training for a half marathon right now, and getting back into running. My knee has been bothering me, so I'm trying to relax it a little bit so I don't injure myself. And Sarah was telling me the other day, she said, "Hey, I'm just glad you were able to run another 375 again." Yeah. Now, it took me 30 minutes to do it, but hey, it's part of the process. New year, new goal. Don't just make a goal. Make an impact in your business. That's what matters. Whether this is your first episode or your 40th, thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching us. I'd encourage you, if you have only listened, go check us out on YouTube. Again, you'll kind of see the studio space. We'd love for you to be a part. And look, tag us on your social media platforms. Share the content out there, because I'm telling you, it's making an impact in the community, and we're glad that you're being a part of that. Welcome to Season 4. It's time for us to lead higher. Go out there and choose to live a higher up life. We'll see you next time.